All right, so today we're really diving deep into something fascinating. The future of Australia. Could this be like the next global superpower?
Hmm.
We're going to find out, right?
Yeah.
It's really interesting stuff. They're a geopolitical analysis group, and they make a pretty compelling case for why Australia could be a much bigger player on the world stage than a lot of people realize,
Yeah.
basically becoming a global superpower.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, we're working from a translated transcript of their video essay. They do some really great work, but it was originally in Spanish, so we had to get that translated for obvious reasons.
Quite see.
But anyway, one of the things that I found really surprising digging into this was just how much Australia is really dominating when it comes to lithium. Like, seriously, they're outpacing China. They're outpacing even the lithium triangle, that area where Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile all kind of come together,
Yeah.
which, like, for a long time, that was the place for lithium. And now here comes Australia.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. I mean, Australia already had a lot going for it in terms of mining, existing infrastructure, a government that's pretty stable, so it makes investors feel comfortable. And crucially, they've got regulations that are actually pretty attractive if you're looking to do business in the mining sector. So they kind of saw the writing on the wall with lithium,
Yeah.
demand was about to go through the roof, and they were ready to capitalize on it.
And it's not just lithium either, right? Like, this feels like part of a bigger strategy.
Oh, absolutely.
They've got this critical minerals strategy. It's a whole national plan to basically become the major player in mining, not just for lithium, but for all these other essential resources
Yeah.
that are going to be crucial as we transition to a greener, more tech-driven future.
It's really smart. The really fascinating thing here is that Australia has massive reserves of these critical minerals just sitting there largely untapped. So you've got this incredible combination of proven reserves and then the potential for even more. And of course, that's attracting huge amounts of investment from all over the world. It's positioning Australia to be kind of indispensable, really, as we move towards electric vehicles, renewable energy, all of that.
Yeah, basically holding all the cards.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
It's a powerful position to be in. But it's not just about the materials,
Yeah.
right? There's this whole other layer to this whole superpower thing with Australia. It's their economy.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they've got this rock-solid track record.
It's pretty amazing.
Over 3 decades without a major financial crisis.
Yeah.
Like, even sailed right through the pandemic, relatively unscathed, at least compared to a lot of other developed countries. Like, how many other places can say that?
Not many. And I think it's a big part of why the world is starting to really take notice of Australia now. They offer something that's really rare. Predictability. Stability. It's huge for investors.
Right, makes sense.
And a lot of that comes down to having regulations that are really business friendly. We were just talking about how that's been a major draw for investment in mining, but it really applies across the board, both from within Australia and globally.
Yeah, it's funny how stability can suddenly become the most attractive thing, right?
Especially these days, right?
Yeah. And speaking of being smart with money, let's talk about this superannuation system they've got down there.
Okay.
So I'll be honest, I had no idea this even existed before I started reading into all this.
Mm.
But it's basically like, imagine a 401k, right?
Okay.
But it's mandatory,
Hmm.
and it's managed at a national level, and it's huge.
Yeah.
We're talking trillions of dollars in assets.
Trillions with a T.
Trillions.
It's mind-boggling how much money they've amassed through that system.
And it's not just sitting there.
Oh, no, not at all.
They're actually investing it
Yeah.
in domestic projects.
Research and development. It's a major factor in why their whole fintech scene is booming, actually.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're way ahead of the curve on that front.
Huh. So it's like this positive feedback loop. Stable economy fuels smart financial systems, which then fuel innovation and growth.
And then that brings in more investment and strengthens the economy even more. It's a pretty impressive cycle they've got going on.
But here's the catch, right? It's like walking into a room with a big pile of gold. Suddenly everyone's your best friend,
Exactly.
or at least they're pretending to be.
Right? You got to watch your back.
Australia's got all this potential wealth, all these resources. Other countries are going to be watching very closely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Visualpolitik, they make this really interesting point in their analysis. They say Australia seems to be realizing that with great wealth,
Responsibility.
well, yeah, that,
Mm-hmm.
but also the need to protect it.
Okay, yeah.
Like, they've got to beef up their defenses, hence the whole military buildup that's been going on.
It's definitely a shift in posture.
Right?
Going from kind of like, hey, we're down here, friendly, everything's cool, to something a bit more assertive, like, don't even think about it.
It's interesting, though, because it's almost like they're taking a page from Taiwan's playbook, but with their own unique twist.
How so?
Well, you know the whole silicon shield idea,
Oh, right.
where Taiwan's dominance in semiconductors basically acts as a deterrent
Exactly.
because nobody wants to mess with that supply
It
chain.
would be economic suicide.
Right. But for Australia, it's not silicon. It's all those critical minerals we were talking about.
Makes sense. Their trump card is different, but the strategy is similar.
Exactly.
Control something everyone needs, and suddenly you've got leverage.
And they're taking it seriously, building up their military, particularly their navy.
Oh, yeah. Submarines, long-range missiles, air power. They're definitely sending a message.
Yeah, the analysts called it a denial strategy, which I thought was a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah, it is.
It's not about projecting power all over the globe. It's about making it crystal clear. You mess with us in our backyard.
You're going to have a bad time.
Exactly.
It's a smart strategy, especially given their geography. Big country, relatively small population. They have to make every defense dollar count.
Which actually brings up another point the analysts made. This whole shift to becoming a more powerful player.
It comes with challenges.
Right. Like, they're going to need more people in their military.
Yeah, recruitment is going to be huge.
They even talked about the possibility of bringing back mandatory service.
Wow.
I know, right? That's a big deal.
Shows how serious they are about this.
Yeah, it really does. So ultimately, it all comes down to this. Will Australia actually pull this off? Will they manage to become a major power on the world stage?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
They definitely have a lot of things going for them, the resources, the economic stability, these strategic partnerships they're building, but it's a complicated world out there.
Oh, yeah.
Geopolitics can be a very messy game.
For sure.
And then there are the internal challenges as well.
Right, like managing their own domestic situation.
Exactly. So whether they can actually pull it all off and become this global superpower, only time will tell.
It's going to be fascinating to watch it all unfold, though, right?
Absolutely.
Because, let's be real, if Australia does become a major player on the world stage, their decisions are going to have global consequences.
Oh.
Everything from resource management to climate change
Yeah.
to
International relations.
the whole shebang.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. And that, my friend, is our deep dive into the rise of Australia. Hopefully you found it insightful, maybe even gave you a new perspective on things. As always, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.